Mighty brave amigos are we, brother to brother.
Welcome back to this already, the final segment of today's Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price. You know that music. That means you should have already had your radio turned off, but sadly you didn't. And now that morbid curiosity is dragging you in to find out what, in fact, the 3 AM Egos, Dan Shedd, intern, Sigmund Kramer, not quite sure what he does, and your host, Kevin Price, are all about. And we're going to go into that right now. Dan Shedd's job is to go out there and find a topic for this segment. And sometimes he actually finds one that was worth talking about. Not too often. And so we'll find out on today's program whether or not he came through. How are you today, Dan?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Hope y'all are doing well.
We're doing fine. Sigmund is sick, physically sick, not mentally sick. We all know about the mental part, but he's actually physically sick today. So he got me all excited by saying we probably won't hear very much from him today. So that's cool. The scary part of that means is I'll probably have to hear more of Dan Shedd. So I don't know. Life's full of trade-offs. We'll see. But what do you got for us? What kind of topic you got?
Well, the next time you are in Marietta, Georgia, don't get caught by eating and driving.
Don't be caught doing what and driving?
Eating and driving.
Eating and driving. So they're now ticketing people for having an eating problem.
Not exactly. But a man in Georgia was cited for eating a cheeseburger while driving in Georgia.
So
wow.
So there's actually a law in the books that says you cannot eat while you're operating a motor vehicle?
Yes. The ticket under Georgia's distracted driving law states that it is an offense to be eating while driving.
Yeah, I got no problem with that one because I've seen people, eating like a full 8-course meal while they're trying to drive, and it's just insane.
Yeah, I have to admit that if local governments want to prohibit that, I'm not sure. I don't think I have a problem with that. You start getting mustard and mayonnaise on that sandwich, and all of a sudden you're more concerned about what's dropping on your lap, which is perfectly fine, but not while you're going 60 miles an hour. I simply won't eat and drive. I don't care what it is. Maybe French fries. But other than that, I'm not eating and driving. I'm eating in the restaurant, or I'm taking the food to home to eat. But I'm not eating and driving, and I find it far more distracting and far more dangerous than maybe even texting.
Yeah, one thing I will say though is a lot of people do eat like in a parking lot. They'll listen to the radio in the car while they're eating their lunch or whatever. The cops aren't going to pull them over and give them a ticket because they're not actually driving, right?
No, I mean, yeah. The man who's Madison Turner, who's from Alabama, told a TV station that he ordered a quarter-pound cheeseburger from McDonald's, and then he was pulled over for eating and driving.
Well, clearly he showed himself to have a lack of good judgment there at the get-go by going to McDonald's in the first place. So, I see why the cop would pull him over. When he
was already on a suicide mission anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he said, "Look, I'm doing the public a service. Clearly, you have just a reckless disregard for life in general. Therefore, I have to pull you over and cite you."
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, you caught one. Frankly, was pretty okay. I mean, and it's not that bizarre. It's well within the realm of expectation. And I'm an anti-nanny skater, but I could live with laws like this, I think.
Well, I mean, you live
in my community.
You live with speed laws as it is. I mean, there's a speed limit. And let's see, you can't. Oh, here's one. Are they going to pull women over for fixing their makeup? Because that drives me insane. When I see a woman fixing her eyeliner and stuff while she's driving. And then she pulls up to a light. It's a red light. And so she decides that she needs to go all oil of Olay on the car, and she starts just going crazy, putting all this makeup on. And, of course, the light has turned green, and she's still in the middle of trying to fix her face because it fell off or something. And I'm honking and honking because, lady, I don't know you. I don't care what you look like. Go. The light is green. Now you've made me miss my light.
Yeah, that sure is a lot of explanation about how you feel in order to ask a question. But anyway, what's the answer to that question? I imagine you don't know.
I mean, I think anything that distracts you from driving is definitely a dangerous situation, and you should just focus on what you're doing, and that's driving.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
But here's the other thing. What about conversations? When I've got people in the car, like, for instance, a child, and I'm trying to have a conversation with the child, don't do this or whatever, that's distracting. Like, there is a limit to the amount of pure 100% attention and focus that I can give to the actual driving experience. I mean, there are things that happen, and I guess I'm just reeling it in a little bit. In reality, folks, you can't always spend 100% of your attention on the road ahead, right?
True.
Are they going to outlaw discussions with family members, friends? What's next?
I think that's a little far stretching because, conversations are pleasant, but, I can certainly understand your point, the fact that, if they want to eliminate all distractions, that
not all conversations are pleasant. I mean, we could get into an argument in the car, or all of a sudden, am I getting pulled over? Kevin, what do you say?
I think you have way too many questions. I think that you do a fine job, although you should never do, but you do a fine job of pointing out how slippery and sliding this slope could be. Let me guess. You're outraged.
That was Godzilla.
Yeah,
that was my Godzilla outrage because it is so ridiculous. We were being trampled on, buddy. The nanny state is trampling on us.
Yeah, but come on. You don't think the food thing is unreasonable?
It's a slap in the face to the judgment of the American people.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I don't know. I just seen so many accidents when it comes to these things. There has to be some rules regarding driving.
Do you think that there are some rules regarding driving, as it is.
But the question is when do they stop being appropriate?
Well, let's see. Let's just say the same thing with the gun laws, okay? We don't have enough gun laws on the books because people keep getting killed by guns, so we need to write more laws. Nope,
no,
they're just going to keep breaking them. They're going to keep breaking them.
Flawed logic.
They're going to keep
logic.
Why? They're going to keep breaking the laws, no matter how many you have. So you put a law in the books saying you can't use a cell phone.
The problem laws we need, for example, I do support knee gun laws. For example, if you're going to be a moron and have a sign that saying you have a gun-free zone, you better have the ability to protect that gun-free zone with some pretty seriously trained people and heavy artillery to back it up.
Right, but that's you're talking gun control, like saying that you can't have a gun at all there. I'm saying clearly I'm on cold medicine, okay? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's just, to me...
But that's part of the agenda.
That's
part of what they're trying to do.
So in this case, though, with the car, right, saying you can't eat and drive, I mean, to me, it's like you're going to put more and more laws on the books. People still speed. How long have they had speed limits? I bet you a lot more people are in
accidents.
Don't
want speed limits.
Huh?
Go ahead and go 60 in a school zone.
No. You misunderstand. My point is, having more and more laws on the books does not necessarily mean that people are going to follow those laws and be safe.
No, I agree with that. I guess, it's one of these things, unless you're talking like the federal government doing it, that would be ridiculous. State governments doing it, I think that would be ridiculous. But if your community wants to do that, where you can influence your community, and let's face it, we can, I'm not sure if I have a problem with it. I don't know.
Is it a state law?
You caught
though?
me on a weird day. On other days, I'd probably say more statists. We're all going to jail. Get ready to get your re-education, tattoo put on your arm.
Yeah, but see, that's just
and
it, man.
That you're going to be in.
You
you come in a weird day.
You said it before. There are so many laws on the books that we're all criminals.
We are.
And
all these laws, I think, are designed to make it easy to throw us all in jail at some point when government gets just fed up.
Oh.
What do you think about it all, Dan?
Well, as far as, all the little rules and regulations, I think, there are some good stuff and some bad stuff. So I think, just finding a happy medium is all.
A happy medium, as long as it's not the order of fries. And a happy meal, because that poor man was trying to eat a happy meal, and what happens? He's sad.
Yeah. And always remember to pretend you're happy when you're blue. Just remember that.
Okay. Unless you're cyanotic and you're losing oxygen to your brain, in which case, probably not very happy.
Yeah, well, then you got a reason for turning blue.
That's right.
All right, I think that was enough educational television on radio for one morning. I think that's enough. By the way, we'd love to get your topics. Obviously, our man Dan can use all the help he can get. Dan Shedd, he is intern extraordinaire. We'll be having an article about this over at priceofbusiness.com. Make sure you check it out. Sigmund Kramer, who promised to keep his mouth shut but dominated the segment. Thank you, sir. And myself, Kevin Price, all of us wishing you a great radio day. And go get a Whopper on Sigmund. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow right here on The Price of Business.